Peace be upon you, grade 4. In this video, we're going to work on two different lessons, lesson number 5 and lesson number 6. I would like you to open your student's book on this page. The number of this page here is 106, and because I'm using a PDF, the number of your pages is going to be different. So open on lesson 5, unit 14. What we are going to do here is to read. The first thing that we need to do in task number 1 is to describe what's happening in the picture. We have this picture right here. Let's have a look at it. And we will try to describe what's happening in this picture. So we can see this family. They are holding their bags and they are walking toward this house. They want to get inside this house, and we can see this lady here. She's standing up and opening her arm for the little boy here. We will try to figure out what's happening once we listen to the poem. So we're going to listen and read a poem, but before we do this, we need to know what is the meaning of poem. Well, a definition that can be given to the word poem is that it's a collection of words that express an emotion or idea. So we will listen to it. Please listen carefully and we will follow the lines one by one. Now, what we really need to know is what the poem is talking about. Well, if we have a look on the title is My Relatives Are Coming. So this poem is talking about, this lady is talking about her relatives who are going to come in a visit for her house, and she's telling that her aunt and uncle and her cousins will be there, and the names of her cousins are Bill and Kate. And then she's talking about Bill, who is this little boy, and he's a toddler. After that, she's describing how are they going to sleep in the house. They have a small house, so some of them will sleep on cushions. If you remember lesson number 4, which is phonics and spelling, we talked about two different groups of words. Some words ends with T-I-O-N and other words ends with S-H-I-O-N, like the word cushion here. And then she's telling that the house is going to be really noisy, and when they go back to their house, it's going to be quiet again, and she's going to miss them all so much. What I need you to look at and focus on is that we have some words in this poem that end with the same sounds. Have a look on the word ready, day, arriving, stay. Well, arriving and stay, day and stay. These two words, day and stay, they have the same sound. Another example, to, do. When we have words like this in a poem, we call this as rhyme. Words that rhyme. So the meaning of rhyme is when we have words that have the same sound. When you say day, it's like stay, the same sound, to and do. Now let's try to find more examples about the rhyme in this poem, and we can find some examples here. Floor and door, and then here we can say squeeze and knees. These two words rhyme. Small and hall, walls, they rhyme also. Then we have speak and weak, and the last one is touch and much. Now we will move to task number 3, and here we have to underline the words that we have inside this box and try to guess their meanings. And after that we will open our workbooks on the last pages in the dictionary section, and we will read the meanings provided on the workbooks. So the words that we have are relatives, toddler, normal, cute, squeeze, queue, stay in touch, and miss someone. Now you can open your workbooks, and starting from page number 132 till 137, all of these pages are dictionary, and they include the words that you need to know their meanings. So now what we need to know is the meaning of the word relatives. So we will go to the letter R and we will try to find this word. You can find it on page 135, and the meaning of the word relatives, first of all, it's a noun, and it means people who belong in the same family. People who all belong in the same family. And now let's move to word number 2, which is toddler. We can find this word in letter T. So you can find this word on page 137. Toddler is a noun, and it means a young child who's learning to walk. So the little boy who we have in this picture, his name is Bell. He is a toddler. He's learning how to walk. This is him. The third word is normal. You can find it on page 135 in number N section. And normal is an adjective, and it means something that is usual. Then word number 4 is cute. We can find it under letter C. You can find it on page 132. And cute is an adjective, and it means pretty or funny, especially for children. Word number 5, squeeze. You can find this word on page 136. Squeeze means when there is no much space. This is the meaning of squeeze in this poem, and it's a noun. The other word is Q, and we can find it when we go to the letter Q, because we have to search for these words by looking at the first letter that they start with. This word is a noun, and it means a line of people who are waiting for something. So in this poem we have a line of people. This is the line of people, and they are waiting to get inside the house. Word number 7 is stay in touch with me, which means that stay communicated with each other. And the last one is miss someone, which means feeling sad or to be sad if someone is not with you. And miss someone is a verb. You can find the meaning of this word on page 134. Now we will move to the last task or activity that we have on this page, which is task number 4. We have to read the poem again. You're going to listen to it again, and then you have to write short answers for the following questions. The first one is done for you, and it is how long will the relatives stay? The answer is a week, because they're asking you to write short answers. Number 2, is it a big house? Number 3, what does everyone like doing? Number 4, is Bill always good? And number 5, how will the house be after the visit? Now we will go back to the poem, we will listen to it for one more time, and we will try to answer these questions in a short way. Now I want you to listen carefully. So now let's try to answer the questions. Question number 2, is the house big? Is it a big house? Let's go back to the poem and try to figure out. So I would like you to look at the lines on the right side, and let's try to read the first line together. But our house is quite small. So the answer of question number 2 is no, it's not a big house, it's quite small. Question number 3, what does everyone like doing? Let's go back to the poem and try to find the answer. Look at this line here. The house will be so noisy. Why is that? As we all like to speak. So what all of them like to do? They all like to speak. Question number 4 is Is Bill always good? So now the question is about the toddler, this small kid here. He's 2 years old. Is he always good? Let's try to figure out. So the poem says, he's really fun and cute, and he's learning to be good. So learning to be good, this means that he's not always good. He's learning to be good. So the answer of this question is going to be no, not always. He's learning to be good. The last question that we have, how will the house be after the visit? House is going to be so quiet. But the house will be so quiet and I'll miss them all so much. Now we will go and check the answers of these questions. I would like you to read and write the answers really carefully. So now I want you to check the answers of the questions. So this is the answer of question number 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. You can stop the video if you want and write the correct answers next to their questions. Now we will move to the next page and we will start working on lesson number 6. The first task that we have here is to listen a number. So here we have 3 different pictures, A, B, and C. We will listen to the audio together and we will try to number to put these pictures in the correct order. So now let's try to check the answers of this task. Number 1 is given for picture B. So here where you have the kangaroo, you have to write number 1. So please write number 1 here inside this box. And the person who talked about this picture is Stuart. Number 2 is giving for this picture A. Emily was talking about her little brother. So write number 2 inside this empty square. And the last one is number 3, which is given to picture C. Now we will listen for one more time because we're moving to task number 2. So we will listen for one more time, and what we need to do is to read these sentences carefully. We're going to read them first, and we need to know who said these sentences? Is he Stewart or Emily or Anna? We will figure out. So who said this sentence? Who helped look after animals? Is he Stewart? Is she Emily? Or is she Anna? You will listen, and if the answer is Anna, so you have to write A, not the whole name, only the first letter of their names. Number 2, who helped look after a child? Who went to a new country? Who usually has a party at home? Who had a brother 3 years ago? And who went surfing? Please listen carefully. So now let's try to talk about the answers of these sentences or questions that we have here. So who helped look after animals? Regarding to the audio that we listened to, she was Anna. So you have to write the letter A right here. Number 2, who helped looked after a child? And she was Emily. She helped her mother look after her little brother. So write letter E here inside this empty square. Number 3, who went to a new country? It was Stewart. He went to Australia and he saw the kangaroos. Number 4, who usually has a party at home? She was Anna. So write A. Number 4 is A. Number 5, who had a brother 3 years ago? She was Emily. Write the letter E. And the last one, who went surfing? He was Stewart, because when he went to Australia it was really hot and he went surfing and he enjoyed it. So right now we will go and check the answers of task number 2. Please check your answers. The first one is A, because of Anna, then E, Emily, then S, Stewart, then A, Anna, E, Emily, and S, Stewart. Now we will move to task number 3, and here you have to ask and answer, talk about your happy memories. You can do it yourself. You can open your notebooks and try to answer these 4 questions that you have. What is your happiest memory? When was it? So you have to mention the date, describe what happened, and the last thing, how did you feel? Now let's move to the writing box that we have here, And inside this writing box, we will talk about poem. What can you find in a poem? And of course, you remember that we read a poem in the previous lesson. And we will have a look to the poem again, and the lines are in different parts or verses. Some poems rhyme. As I told you, there are some words that can be found in poems that share the same sound. So that's why we call these words as that they rhyme. And then this means there are words which sound the same. So this is the meaning of rhyme. Let's go back to the poem, which is my relatives are coming, and we said that day and stay, these two words rhyme. We said that to and do, and then floor and door. Floor, this word, and door. We are focusing on the sound, not the spelling of the words. Squeeze and knees, small and tall, and wall as well. Speak and weak, touch, much. And this is what we mean by that we have some words that rhyme. Now, in task number 4, look at the poem again and answer the questions. How many verses are there in the poem? How many lines are there in each verse? Circle all the words that rhyme in the poem, and what pattern can you see? So now let's have a look on this poem. We need to know what is the meaning of verses. Well, when we talk about poems, this means that we're talking about literature. We're not going to go really deep in this topic, but we have something that is called stanza. Stanza is a number of lines. So for example, these 4 lines are considered to be one stanza, and then you have a space between them. This one is a second stanza, and so on and so forth. Now we need to know what is the meaning of verse. So now the meaning of verses is the number of the lines that we have in a poem. One of the questions was also to find and circle the words that rhyme, and we have already talked about them. So you can circle these words by yourself, and we said that the meaning of words that rhyme, it means that they have the same sound. An example for one more time is squeeze and knees. We're not focusing on the spelling, we're focusing on the sounds. So that's it for today's lesson. All the best.